So yeah, welcome. We are here in Swananda Sukhada Kunja, which is one of the two houses. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we're planning to go first to Surabhi Kunja, but we ended up in a different ghat, so it's more practical to come here first. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's last house. This is where he basically passed from this world. After that, we'll go to his first house, Surabhi Kunja, which is 5-minute walk from here. So we are in Godrum. First of all, Godrum, in this island, one of the 9 islands. Godrum is the island of Kirtan. Each island, remember, Antardvip, where Mayapur is the island of Atmanivedanam or surrender, and Godrum is the island of Kirtan. It is said that also Nityananda Prabhu had one of his main headquarters here, not in this house, but in the area of Godrum, where the Namhata, or the market of the holy name, was established and the mercy spread. Also named Godrum. Go means cow and drum means tree, or more specifically banyan tree. And interestingly, there's this huge banyan tree here. It's connected to a lila in Vrindavan when Indra tried to kill all the Brajavasis, when the Indra Puja was cancelled, Govardhan Lila, and it is said that eventually Indra, of course, begged forgiveness from Krishna, but still he was feeling repentant and thinking what to do. And he got a hint from Brahma that Krishna will appear in Kali Yuga as the most merciful Sri Chaitanya Dev. So Indra came here with Surabhi, with mother cow Surabhi, and he performed tapasya under a banyan tree, a drum. Drum means banyan tree and go means cow. So he came with a cow and he performed tapasya worshipping Mahaprabhu under a banyan tree, and that's why this island is called Godrum. So this is a place where Bhaktivinoda Thakur came. It is said that Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in the previous house in Surabhi Kunja, and he was planning to go to Vrindavan in his last years. But he received like an inspiration, revelation of Mahaprabhu, like, no, stay here because you have so much work to do here. You have to establish the glories of Navadvip, uncover the different places, and rediscover my place of birth. So here is the place from which, exactly from this, here behind this, we cannot go here. It's closed. I mean, we could do something about this, but it's okay. There is a veranda here. So originally Bhaktivinoda Thakur was walking in this veranda, and from here he had the view of this marvelous temple that he called the Adbhut Mandir, or the wonderful temple, which actually referred to the place where Mahaprabhu was born, Jogapit, that we went the other day. So from that vision, he was first initially confused, like, what's that I'm seeing? The next day again, same vision happens. So he goes to the exact place and sees that the only thing that is growing in that place was Tulsi. Wow. Tulsi. So he started to ask the locals, and some of them tell, no, actually this is the original birthplace of Mahaprabhu, because again, it was established somewhere else. So he started to do research with maps, ancient maps of the area, connect with the descriptions in the scriptures about Mahaprabhu's birthplace, and eventually, as we said, he concluded, okay, Jogapith, what he saw from here, is the actual place of Mahaprabhu's birth, bringing Jagannath Das Babaji for further confirmation. So in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur never went to Vrindavan to leave as he planned, but staying in Godrum, and from here he conducted many services, especially for Mahaprabhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur received the title at one point of the 7th Goswami. Now we know the 6 Goswamis. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has been referred to as the 7th Goswami because in many ways what he did resembled or followed the spirit of the 6 Goswamis, which were commanded by Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan. We call them the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So, hello, just to not neglect anyone. So the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu told them, go to Vrindavan. They were not in Vrindavan originally. Go to Vrindavan and rediscover the lost sites of the Leela Stalis, where Krishna performed his Leelas in Vrindavan. Rediscover that, write Bhakti scriptures to establish the creed of Mahaprabhu, install deities. So the 6 Goswamis did that with Krishna in Vrindavan. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur basically did the same with Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. So he wrote Navadvip Dhammahatmya, Navadvip Bhavataranga, different books about Mahaprabhu rediscovering his birthplace, worshipping Gaur Gadadhar as we talked today, highlighting the importance of Gadadhar Pandit, and many other things that before Bhaktivinoda Thakur that was not so emphasized. So in that sense, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has been a great personality in terms of the importance of highlighting the importance of Navadvip and Mahaprabhu and Gaur Lila in particular. And again, he, in my personal biased, hopefully a wholly biased estimation, I'm very much inclined to Bhaktivinoda Thakur because for many reasons, of course, he himself was not born as a Gaudiya Vaishnava. He became eventually a Gaudiya Vaishnava. He has a autobiography he wrote, Swalikita Jivani, where he even, here describes his own journey in terms of exploring other traditions and even impersonal traditions. We can give a little space there. Impersonal traditions and knowing Christianity and other schools. And so although some Vaishnavas will say Bhaktivinoda Thakur is an eternally liberated devotee and all this is a lila, some others will prefer to see, whatever Bhaktivinoda Thakur was showing is something that we can relate to, that there is a journey, an unfolding, a discovery, a connection. But at the same time, when he connected with Gaudiya Vaishnavism, he embraced it with such depth and intensity in such a sudden way that it's difficult to think that just began at that moment, because it was like very ecstatically and very interesting, very beautifully writing about so many things, writing about Sharanagati. And of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a great pioneer of the interaction with modernity and the concern of spreading the message of Mahaprabhu beyond the shores of India, so to say. Even from this place, he will write in one of his books, he will make a prediction. Like at one point, devotees from all over the world will join hands and sing together, Jai Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan. And it is said that there was a particular moment in which somehow many devotees felt that happened. And that was in 1986, which was the 500th anniversary of Mahaprabhu's birth. And here in Navadvip, devotees were doing Sankirtan and singing Jai Sachinandan, and the whole earth trembled. Maybe some of you heard that about that moment. So for many it was like, okay, there you have it, the prediction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur becoming true.
In 1986, we were here.
1986. Mm-hmm.
And you read in the writings about Lord Chaitanya, streams of people and the earth being scooped out by their feet, and it sounds like hyperbole. But on the 500th anniversary, I couldn't believe how many people were here. From all over the place. Thousands and thousands. So anything like it.
Yeah. So, somehow many connect that particular moment with what came from here. Again, this is another birthplace of many birthplaces we are going. Bhaktivinoda Thakur living here, discovering the birthplace of Mahaprabhu, starting to think about how to spread the message beyond India, empowering Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his son, disciple, whose room is next to this one, we'll go after. And from there, we came. From all that we came, here we are. So, this is his room, as I said, with many of his still preserved original paraphernalia, bed. This is like a bookshelf, so you could rotate that, so you can pick the book you're needing. There's part of his original library and some of the paraphernalia. Jiva, you can tell us what's there. I don't see anything here.
Some pots, some old. Yeah, some pots.
a little bit more nuance, a little bit more ornamentation.
Still looks like a clay water pot.
Yeah.
A few more things regarding Bhaktivinoda Thakur is that, of course, he was a grihasta most of his life, right? That's an interesting point because, again, many times I'm fortunate that there is like a toxic overemphasizing of renunciation and you have to be a monk and that's higher. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a grihasta almost all his life, and he showed the perfection of life, attaining perfection of life, all the symptoms of divine love. Asagrihasta saying, in my home Golok Vrindavan is manifest, and I'm engaging all the paraphernalia in the service of Krishna. He was very much trans-institutional. He didn't belong to any mission. No? Nowadays, devotees are like, which is your mission? You cannot ask that to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No? He was Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No? But we identify ourselves, most of us at least, belonging to the Bhaktivinoda Parivar. That's a term that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will use, which means the Parivar means family. So there's the Gadadhar Parivar, Nityananda Parivar, Advaita Parivar. So when someone asks Bhaktisiddhanta, to which Parivar you belong, he says Bhaktivinoda Parivar. Like emphasizing the uniqueness. Because sometimes there is this argument only the proper Parivars come from direct associates of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar. So they cannot be from someone from other generation. But at the same time, there are many Parivars who come, Narottam Parivar, Shyamananda Parivar. They are not direct associates of Mahaprabhu. They are other generations. So it's possible that we can create a whole family or line coming from one main figure. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was initiated into the Nityananda Parivar by his guru Vipin Bihari Goswami. But at the same time, Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta felt the uniqueness of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's contribution is such that we can think in terms of belonging to his family. And he was someone very much open to have dialogue with other traditions. There's this famous quote that I shared in Radical Personalism, Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying, if you enter a church, you can think, oh, how interesting how they are worshipping my Krishna here. No, wow. And by the way they are worshipping Krishna, I can appreciate that to a point that nourishes the way that I'm worshipping Krishna. So I can be nourished by the diversity in religious expression and take it back to me. So he wrote more than 100 books, so prolific author. As you know, most of his life he was working in the government in India, so very busy. He had like 15 children, and he did all that he did at the same time. He will walk and live with a pocket watch, clock, how do you say at that time? To do everything like on time and to not miss any second, basically. Of course, he will sleep a few hours only per day, but exemplary. We may not be able to copy-paste that at home, but still that's deeply inspiring. So again, that's our family, Bhaktivinoda Thakur Parivar. We are at his home, one of his houses here, the place where he passed. That's why his samadhi is down here. And of course, we had the darshan of his deities of Gaur Gadadhar. We'll share some words today in the morning about Gaur Gadadhar. And there is this Bhajan Kutir of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji that now they are reconstructing. Because Gaur Kishore Das Babaji also will come here and visit. He took Bhaktivinoda Thakur as his Siksha Guru. And so you can imagine this house, you will be hanging around with people like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji. Those were the usual daily visits, right? So they walked in this same floor, they stay in this same room. So their presence and their energy is still alive here, in this house, in this location. So maybe we can spend a few moments in silence trying to imbibe the energy of the place. And then we can do a short exercise, trying to make it even more personal and connected with Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda. This place, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur being here, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Jagannath Das Babaji. So for a moment, try to imbibe that. Try to imbibe particularly focus on Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is a place where Bhaktivinoda Thakur lived, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur cried, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur hoped for each one of us. Had each one of us in his heart and mind in terms of the mercy of Mahaprabhu, and he prayed with tears in his eyes for the grace of Mahaprabhu to touch and sprinkle all these lands beyond Godrum, beyond this island. So he hoped here, he prayed, he saw the light of the future. He has these prophetic visions that included us somehow. So for a moment, inwardly, imagine that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is sitting near you right now. So not as a saint on a pedestal, inaccessible, but as a sincere seeker, as a father, spiritual father, as a reformer, but he was as a shelter. So the simple prompt will be, sitting here, what will I tell Bhaktivinoda Thakur about my own spiritual journey if he were sitting with me now? And what might he gently say back to me? So you can speak inwardly, he's listening, and you will sense he's replying one way or another, not necessarily to be words, whatever needs to come by the grace of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So we can stay for a moment with that prompt. What will I tell Bhaktivinoda Thakur about my own spiritual journey with him sitting next by to me, and what will he reply? Let's sit with that, sit with Thakur Bhaktivinoda for a few moments here in his room in Godrum.
Lang vipala, paja Godrum kana Kunja. शब्द मुखस्त नहीं है, আমি বই দেখে বলতে